Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. Today's Sunday, April 20th, 2014. It is 12:26 p.m.
Whoever they may be, they will be able to quickly determine
It's terrible.
the surface-to-air missile or missiles that were involved. They'll be able to determine where they came from, right?
Oh, absolutely, Wolf, and I think they'll be able to look at satellite photography and see that these missiles have come from Russia and where they were. They're identifiable by overhead. So they'll know whether it was fired fairly quickly from eastern Ukraine or Russia. The question...
But you as a pilot who has flown all over the world, this must really even affect you even more deeply.
Well, it's a great tragedy, Reverend Al, and unfortunately, when you lose 295 innocent people that didn't even see it coming, it is an extreme tragedy, and Aviation Organization will be attempting to get in there and investigate to try to determine what ought to be next. You know, it's
both involving loss of life, the shooting down of a 777 in Ukraine, the ground invasion of Gaza by the Israeli army. Many of you, depending on your local NBC station, will be with us now for a second half hour of special coverage. If your station moves on to other programming, you're able to watch our second half hour streaming live on our website, nbcnews.com. Again, across a wide area, Ukrainian rebels say they will call a 3-day ceasefire to allow crash investigators to work the area. There will be a special edition of World News tonight starting at 6:30. You can watch it right after this newscast.
Serious questions arising right now about the amount of time the Milwaukee County Board
fighting. All 295 people on board were killed.
How many of them, if any, are Americans is still unknown. The Ukrainians are convinced this is
Down will affect tens of thousands of...
Malaysia Airlines flight crashing in eastern Ukraine Thursday, sparking global confusion and a whole lot of speculation. Pictures purportedly showing the wreckage quickly surfaced on social media. The plane, headed for Kuala Lumpur from Amsterdam, was carrying 280 passengers and 15 crew members. They are all presumed dead. Given the current conflict in the region between Ukraine and Russia, President Obama spoke this afternoon about the incident.
I've directed my national security team to stay in close contact with the Ukrainian government. United States will offer any assistance we can to help determine what happened and why.
This story will develop more in the days to come, of course, and when you visit the homepage of fox6now.com or the Fox 6 News app, you will notice that we have included photos from the crash scene in Ukraine. Plus, you can also look closer at a distant amateur video of the crash, reportedly as it happened.
To local news now, a former West Dallas cop pleads not guilty. Stephen Zell.
It disappears. This is what it looks like. We do not know how many Americans were.
The tech was not able to get to the scene from what we get reports of, and also the separate forces are controlling the place right now, and Ukrainians are trying to break through to the crash.
So nobody else can get in there except the rebels right now?
Exactly. We had actually the Prime Minister of the self-declared Donetsk People's Republic visiting the location, blaming the
weapon in Donetsk. The question is, was this the weapon used to shoot down this plane? And if so, who fired it? Did they intend to shoot a commercial airplane out of midair? We begin our coverage tonight with Jim Sciutto in Washington. And Jim, what is the latest you know about this terror in the sky?
Well, I'll tell you, U.S. officials now confirming what Ukrainian officials have been telling me all day long, and that is that there is evidence that this plane was taken down by a surface-to-air missile. The two pieces of evidence that U.S. officials cite are, one, tracking by U.S. assets in the region showing that a missile system radar locked onto this jet before it was shot down, and also signs that there was a heat signature of a missile rising from the ground towards that jet. So two very strong clues that this was a missile attack. Ukrainian officials going on to say that it was a missile like that one that you just showed a picture of there, a Russian-made missile, which Ukrainian officials say was taken by pro-Russian separatists a couple of weeks ago, and then leading to this tragedy today.
The Malaysian jet fell from the sky over eastern Ukraine in a fireball and a black cloud. Pieces of burning debris visible, trailing gray smoke. On the ground, wreckage littered the landscape, spread over a large area. Evidence, Ukrainian officials tell CNN, that the Boeing 777 came apart at high altitude. Ukrainian officials quickly blamed a missile strike by pro-Russian separatists. The foreign minister telling CNN, quote, "It is as clear as day. They have been hunting our planes for weeks." Ukraine's newly elected pro-Western President Petro Poroshenko called it an act of terrorism.
We do not call it an incident or a catastrophe, but a terrorist action.
The U.S. has now concluded the plane was shot down, a senior U.S. official tells CNN. But the U.S. does not know who is responsible. Russian President Vladimir Putin is already laying his own blame, saying the state over whose territory it happened, naming Ukraine, is responsible for this terrible tragedy. This morning, Putin delivered the news of the crash to President Obama during a phone call to discuss new U.S. sanctions against Russia. Sanctions sparked by Russian support for Ukrainian militants, including supplying weapons and fighters.
It looks like it may be a terrible tragedy. The United States will offer any assistance we can to help determine what happened and why.
President Obama has since spoken to Ukraine's president and Malaysia's prime minister, pledging U.S. support to determine exactly what happened.
If it transpires that the plane was indeed shot down, we insist that the perpetrators must swiftly be brought to justice.
U.S. officials say they have not determined who shot the plane down, but Ukrainian officials, they are not pulling punches. They blame not just pro-Russian separatists, they blame Russia, and one piece of evidence they use is an intercepted phone communication at the time that this plane was shot down between, they say, a pro-Russian separatist and a Russian intelligence agent describing that they shot this plane down, and then even as they're realizing that it was a passenger plane as it hit the ground, Aaron, some pretty alarming evidence coming out of the Ukrainian government tonight.
All right, Jim Sciutto, thank you very much. Alarming evidence, and now the latest on the investigation as it is beginning. Nick Robertson is on the ground in Kiev, Ukraine tonight for us, and what do you know, Nick?
Well, rescue and investigation officials have only been allowed through to the crash site in the last 7 hours or so. The Ukrainian government doesn't control the area there. We're told that 5 teams were allowed through to that area about 7 hours ago. They say that they are being hampered because the debris is strewn over a large area. They're being hampered by armed groups in the area who are getting in the way of their rescue and investigation. We've seen on pictures already a contamination of the crime scene, if you will, there's been pictures of people standing on parts of the wrecked aircraft. Those intercepted phone conversations we've heard the Ukrainian security chief and the Ukrainian president talking about this evening evening that are intercepted, they say, between separatists and what we're told here, the Russian handlers saying that some parts of the aircraft have already been looted and taken away and put in people's yards. So you have questions right now about the contamination of the crime scene, the jurisdiction of the crime scene here, which clearly is not firmly in the hands of the Ukrainian authorities. And while the Ukrainian president says that he welcomes international involvement, wants the Dutch and Malaysian officials to be involved in an international investigation,
and then all of a sudden catastrophe struck, and I think it struck very, very, very quickly.
In a normal situation, when would we be able to nail down what happened? I mean, I expect there'll be disputes over this because the Russians won't admit it, the separatists won't admit it, the Kiev government has already blamed the separatists, and my question is, will there be a tribunal that's recognized in the world?
Traffic control report saying, look, this jetliner's down. Now, was he holding?
And to get help where needed quickly. In West Dallas, Ben Hutchison, WISN 12 News.
And you can find a full list of detours on our website, WISN.com.
Millions of tourism dollars in 1 week. That's what analysts say could be coming to our area with
JD Byrider for
Real mess. 2 lanes were closed for almost 3 hours. No word on the condition of that semi-driver. An ambulance was involved in a rollover accident in Kohler today.
Happened just before 7 a.m. on Lower Falls Road and Highway A. The ambulance was knocked onto its side.
This gray car was also involved in that crash. The side of the car smashed in. Kohler police have not said how many people were involved or the extent of any injuries.
Still ahead, thieves steal more veterans' markers from a cemetery.
The markers are made out of metal. The thieves turn in for cash. Loved ones are stunned. Plus, the latest on this cute puppy that was thrown away like trash. And get a sneak peek around the Packers' new pro shop.
Lisa's 2014 Buick Enclave.
Right here at the Bebo Harris Bradley Center. And during the annual meeting, a lot of eyes are going to be on this project here, which is essentially going to change the landscape.
That person would not have known this was a commercial jet.
I think that's possible. What we're going to find, I think, is that if these missiles were transferred to somebody who knew how to fire the missile but was not plugged into air defense systems, they might have missed.
You were still in charge, and she just left a few months.
They were provided from Russia, and that's what I think we need to understand here. The conclusion of this investigation is that either the missile came from, it's a missile that came from Russia, or it was from the separatists, and it's a Butte-style missile. I mean, this came from Russia. Russia has their fingerprints all over it either way.
Does it make a difference if it's the S-300 missile? It is definitely the Russians who actually fired it. Does that make a difference in if they supplied another missile launcher, the XA-11, to separatists, let's say a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and then they did it? Does that make a difference?
In my view, it doesn't, Greta, because they have been fueling this violence in eastern Ukraine. They have funded the separatists.
Laid off workers in Wisconsin. The Labor Department is providing $470,000 to help about 230 former employees of Oshkosh Corporation. The company makes vehicles for the military. They learned in April that their jobs were being cut. Wisconsin's unemployment rate held steady between May and June. The Department of Workforce Development says it remained unchanged at 5.7%.
Today's sunshine is just the beginning. Mark, this might be the best stretch of weather all summer.
Yeah, it doesn't get a whole lot better than what we have out there right now. What we're going to have as we work our way into the forecast. If you like it warmer, I think you're going to love what we have coming up next on Watch 12.
And it's the newest part of Lambeau Field. We'll take you inside the Packers' new pro shop.
And the Packers head coach Mike McCarthy takes to the skies his family connection to a piece of World War II history.
Brand name gowns at a big discount tomorrow on WISN 12 News this morning. We'll show you the event happening this weekend that will help local brides find their perfect arcade game from the 1980s that Craig played all the time, no doubt. The effort will use signs to remind drivers to yield to pedestrians or pay a fine.
Obviously, it's not what you would call an approved traffic type of control device, but we're trying to drum up attention to an issue here and change the culture of driving in the city.
A citation for not yielding to pedestrians is about $74. Police are paying for Operation Frogger using grant money. Well, it's a beautiful evening across the area.
Great weather has begun with jazz in the park tonight. A lot of things coming up.
Yeah, tons of things happening out there, and the weather could not be a whole lot better, and it's going to continue day after day after day. Let's get a live look outside. We start you off in Sheboygan. Pretty picture here, of course, of the marina, and hopefully everybody's taking advantage of this wonderful weather, and if you can't do it today, then make sure you get out there over the next couple of days, all the way into the weekend. Things are shaping up wonderfully along the shores of Lake Michigan from Concordia University in Mequon. Pretty picture there as well, where it's gorgeous. As mentioned, jazz in the park. It looks like a nice crowd down there, and why not? The weather is certainly cooperating. And then there is something I want to point out that's going on right now. If you've been outside and you kind of looks a little weird out there, kind of a milky appearance to the sky. Well, the reason why this is happening is because there are fires, forest fires, that are burning way in Canada. We'll show you how far away in just a second. So it's kind of a smoky sky right now over the southern sections of Wisconsin. And it's going to last for a little while. They're going to make it into tomorrow as well. Now, these fires are a long way away. And we're talking about into the Northwest Territories, over 1,600 miles from Milwaukee. You're saying, well, how in the world can that smoke make it all the way here? One, these are big fires, so there's a lot of smoke, and it gets trapped in with this big area of high pressure, and that's made it all the way down here into Wisconsin, so we have to deal with that over the next couple of days. But you know what? Overall, we're still talking about tons of sun, and what a magnificent stretch of weather. Each day, kind of a stair step, 77 miles, 80, 82, 85, 87. So if you like it hot, you're going to like it Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be sticky as well. That's when the mosquitoes are really going to get nasty. But because the temperatures are cooler, not so bad for tonight, but you're still going to need bug spray. Then as we head to Friday, Saturday, we'll go to medium. If we could add Sunday into this graphic, I would go to nasty levels of mosquitoes because they will be swarming again as the humidity returns. You can see cloud cover down to the south of us. Now around here again, it's that milky sky, but high pressure dominating things, and that trend will continue. Clear sky, so not as cool as we've been last couple of nights. Some folks getting close to upper 40s. That's not going to happen tonight, but inland will drop down to about 55 degrees. A nice light southeasterly wind at 3 to 6. Hasn't been great giving the air conditioner a rest, especially compared to how much we needed the furnace this past winter. So it has made a big, big difference. Friday. This, again, another great day. It was beautiful today, and it's going to be beautiful again tomorrow. High temperatures getting up to 77. We start at 64. By the middle of the day, I'd say it's good picnic weather to get outside, 75 degrees. Then we hit 80. That happens on Saturday. 82 degrees on Sunday. And we're talking sunshine every day in the forecast. That includes Monday. High temperatures there of 85. Chance for storms into Tuesday, and on Wednesday they'll cool it down a little bit toward the middle and end of next week, but a lot of things going on. Portfish Day, Festa Italiana, the Waukesha County Fair, Balloon Festival going on in Waterford, vintage car race going on up at Elkhart Lake, so there's a whole lot happening, and the weather couldn't be better. I think I'm going to take a 3-day weekend, Craig.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Mark. No excuse to get out, though.
Week at 75 at Dousman. Beautiful evening ahead. Let's check in with our Sky Vision Plus forecast maps, and we'll see.
Live at 10.
And new tonight at 10. Let's start at 7 o'clock tonight. Light wind, beautiful conditions. There's 10 o'clock. Nice sleeping weather overnight with low dew points in the low 50s. There's tomorrow morning. Gorgeous start to the day. Winds out of the south. Maybe a few cumulus clouds. That's about all the little green blobs will be. In the afternoon, the wind turns to the southeast, just like it did today. And that'll cool off some locations right along the lakeshore. And then for tomorrow night, beautiful weather conditions for our Friday night. 59 tonight, mostly clear sky. Again, comfortable sleeping weather. 78 tomorrow, mostly sunny. A little bit cooler along the lakeshore. And boy, if you're traveling anywhere across the state or neighboring states this weekend, Saturday and Sunday look great. Saturday, sunshine, warming up. On Sunday, even milder, lots of highs in the 80s. Door County at 72 for a high, 79 in Eagle River, but a ton of sunshine. The other thing we'll notice, the dew points will start to climb over the next few days, up to 65 on Sunday, so it'll certainly feel more tropical. And to go along with the higher dew points come the higher temperatures, including mid-80s by the time Monday and Tuesday rolls around. So if you're thinking, you know, summer's been AWOL here for a while, it's back in a hurry. Enjoy.
We welcome ours.
We do.
If the sign of a robin is the sign of spring.
It's Thursday today, tomorrow's Friday. Unfortunately, tomorrow I work. I work tonight and tomorrow and Saturday. I will try to make the best of tomorrow. So tomorrow is Friday, I also get paid tomorrow. I guess I'll see you all sometime tomorrow. Thank you for all watching this episode of Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. I got lots of chocolate in my face. Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers. Oh. Welcome to Everyday Life of Ralph Powers.